Hello. Well, it's almost 2 o'clock on the East Coast, and I would like to start mentioning that those videos are not intended to give you trading tips or to tell you when to buy or sell. That video it's intended to serve an example of how to use technical analysis to analyze stock charts or forex charts, and you can, by watching those videos, you can have a very good idea of the potential of the use of technical analysis. And trading and investing goes beyond of what I mentioned here. It's not just about analyzing the market and understanding what can be the future price movements, but it's more than this. It's creating trading and investing strategies that are high probability. You have a high probability of being profitable if you apply those strategies in the long term. It's not healthy. For example, I know a lot of people that tells me, oh, I made 40% on a stock this month, I'm buying new stuff. This is not a sustainable thing. That person, 99% of the time, that person will not learn fast enough to preserve what that person was able to earn in the market, because there is an illusion that you can make money easily and fast on the markets. But this is not true. You make money in the markets by having a high probability strategy and applying it with consistency, with discipline. That's how you make money in the markets. So let's move now to the screen, to MetaStock, and let's start talking about the S&P 500 index. Last Tuesday we reached a resistance level, and I plotted that trend lines here, making a downwards channel. And I said that we reached a resistance level. I expected a few days of sideways action, and then we would be trading lower, or if we trade higher, we would find resistance at that return line. That's the return line of the downwards channel. So we are trading slightly higher of that, slightly above of that resistance region, and quite close to that downwards trend line here. So it's still to be seen that the market will be able to trade even higher. My expectation is again for a small range day tomorrow, and next week we will probably decide to trade lower. We need to see how next week will develop. So it's a lot of things are at play in the market. So we are reaching now a conjunction point where several markets needs to make a decision. And let's stop a little bit with the charts and make a little comment here. The financial markets, the world financial markets, are interconnected, and the different type of markets like stocks and options and forex and commodities, all of them are interconnected. That interconnection is extremely complex, and it's very difficult that all those markets will behave in perfect harmony. There is always some lack of harmony that creates trading opportunities. Right now we are sort of reaching a conjunction where many markets are finding themselves on a decision point. So it will be either continuing to do what they have been doing, and for example, for the S&P 500 in that sense will be continuing to fall, or the markets will be able to reach that resistance and trade at new highs or new lows, depending on what market you are looking at. So the idea of using technical analysis is to identify those points where different markets and where each market is reaching a decision point, and those decision points are the points where we start planning to apply our strategies. So let's move back to the charts. So that was the S&P 500. Let's take a look at the Dow. The Dow also is reaching a trend line here that I'm going to draw, and I will create a channel here too that will be watching in the next few days if we start trading lower. So indeed the market trade sideways for a couple of days here when it reached that resistance level. We are trading above that resistance level today, and the market just found some resistance at that downward trend line. We need to see how that conjunction point will affect the market, and we might either be trending lower again and then go after that support level that I mentioned before in those presentations, in one of my video presentations, at 11,450 for the Dow Jones. So if the market is unable to break to new highs and then go after the former high, we will be trading lower and looking for that support level. And looking at the Nasdaq, I was mentioning that the Nasdaq usually it's the leading market. It starts to trade higher before the other ones, and it starts to trade lower before the other ones. And I mentioned this week that the Nasdaq was weaker than the Dow Jones and the S&P 500, and we didn't even reach an important resistance. Well, we got to that point today, and that resistance is quite strong. We need to see how Nasdaq will behave around that level, and that level it's still a little bit far away from the downward trend line. And let me create a channel here, and the Nasdaq usually requires a little bit more to analyze than the other ones, because it creates a lot of important points where we need to make decisions. Well, right now, so we are trading at a strong resistance level. If the other markets break above the downward trend line, the Nasdaq will be able to reach that downward trend line. But if the markets start to trade lower in synchrony, we will see Nasdaq going after that green line here, which is an important support for Nasdaq. So basically what we have here is that we reached a decision point, and from what I see in my indicators, it's that we might be able to break to new highs, but you'll be quite hard to trade higher than this year's high until there's a lot of fight in the market for so the bulls will need to have a lot of power to be able to break above current year highs. One stock that I've been mentioning, and it's a stock that it's finding a lot of strength and has been trading higher and higher for quite a while, and that stock is ConocoPhillips, and we are trading higher. Let me put this indicator here. That's a formula that I created to make my analysis easier. So it's a very good stock to trade, and it fits very well my strategies, and we are continuing to trade higher today. We might proceed to new highs to new highs in the next few days. Another one that it's interesting to mention, I don't have it open here. This week, a client asked me about a certain stock. He told me, well, I'm thinking about buying this stock. What do you think? So let me open the chart here. He was talking about Cisco, and he said, well, I think Cisco, it's has been trading lower and lower and lower for quite a while now, and it's probably a bottom. And he told me he thought it was a support level, and it indeed is a support region. So he asked me what I thought, if it was if it was a good buy, and I told him, well, it doesn't fit my personal strategies, but I don't know what your strategies are. I would not be buying Cisco. If I want some sort of exposure on the technology sector, there is some other companies that are very good, and one that I like because it fits my strategies, and I'm not making here any trading recommendation. I trade Netflix because it fits my strategies. It's not because I got a tip and people is telling me that Netflix is doing this and that, or because Netflix it's getting a lot of customers. I don't look much into those aspects. In terms of fundamentals, what I'm looking for, it's a company that has a positive cash flow, and in terms of chart, what I'm looking for, it's a company that has a clear trend, and Netflix has a clear one, and that's why I apply my strategies to trade Netflix. I don't see any entry right now. There's no entry according to my strategies, but it has been quite good for me. So I told him to study Netflix charts and make a decision if Netflix would fit his strategies. But anyway, it's very risky to buy a stock that it's in a clear downtrend. There is no reason to be in a hurry to buy the stock. You can say, well, it's cheap, it fell a lot. Last year the high was so much, and now it's trading for so little. It doesn't matter. No stock, it's so expensive that cannot become more expensive if people think it's worth buying, and no stock, it's cheap and cannot get even cheaper if people start selling it. So why buy something that is in a clear downtrend? You want to buy now to sell for to make money, to sell for more dollars in the future. So if it's trending down, it makes sense that it continues to trend down. Trend changing, it's a process and it takes a while. So that's the message I would like to leave for you today. Do not try to be bottom pickers. It's a fool's game. Don't do this. Be cautious and trade consciously, applying a high probability strategy. Well, thank you very much for all of you. I would like to invite you to visit our website www.taacademy.com, or to follow me on Twitter, Jose Cid Trader. Thank you very much.